2020 has been a year filled with challenges, with the COVID-19 pandemic creating social and economic distress. 102 years ago, Americans were experiencing another pandemic as the 1918 flu swept across the country in waves. This week we talked with Duluth historians Dan Hartman and Tony Dierckins about how the government handled the 1918 pandemic.
Back then, we didn't have a strong mayor system. We had a city commission. And so it was actually one of our city commissioners, Silverstein, whose job it was to say whether the city would close or not.
Bernard Silverstein, our public safety commissioner at the time, really led the charge. Back then, our city council was made up of 5 commissioners that had their own department. So these 5 people made the decisions. And he was very vehement. Superior lifted its ban early. And Silverstein went on record, he's saying, please, Duluthians, don't go over to Superior. And he even asked the city council if maybe consider closing the bridges in between there to keep it out of Duluth.
How the response is different now versus then is right now our responses are very statewide. Back then, it was up to every municipality of when they would go to lockdown. And so when the disease would hit your town, then you'd go to lockdown typically. And every city did it to different levels. You know, Philadelphia was famous because they didn't really do much. They ended up having a parade, and then everyone got infected.
The same day Duluth announced its flu ban, if you will, the restrictions it was going to put in place in October of 1918, that's the same day the Cloquet fire broke out. Right? So you have this huge fire, 453 dead in the region, 85 of those in Duluth. You've got 27 Duluthians that already have the flu. Meanwhile, another 55 Duluthians that already died in the war in Europe at the same time. So bad news is coming home every day.
If you're on the internet right now, it's hard to scroll and not see a 2020 meme about how terrible this year is. I would argue 1918 was a little worse. And so, I mean, you have the fire, you've got the flu, you've got World War I.
In 1918, a lot more Duluth was hit a lot harder than Superior was in 1920 when the flu came through, because it lasted 3 waves over a number of years. 1920 was the reverse. Superior was hit hard, and Duluth didn't get hit as hard.
It was 102 years later, and it's still a lot of disbelief in medicine. A lot of people who don't want to believe what a virus is, and a lot of just kind of general misunderstandings of how it spreads, I think has been kind of scary to watch, because the same conversation happened 100 years ago.
We lost 325 people in 4 months. But at the same time, we could have lost 700 if we were at the national average. Right? So the work that we did worked. You know, that mandates, staying restricted, it helped a great deal.
Similar to today, which kind of scares me, people had a high sense of credibility in medicine. After the 1918 flu, the credibility of the medical community went down for a while because people stopped believing in medicine because they couldn't solve the 1918 flu.